they did it on purpose. They willingly let that fucker blow up, you know? Excuse my language, but they just let it blow up, and this poor guy that was in charge of it, almost lost his life. Probably should have been dead. And so if they did do it on purpose, and then now you got the one in Salt Lake City, it's like, well, what are they doing? What is their end game with this besides just eugenics, right? Because there's always that that little factor as well to put into the equation, which is killing people, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's about decreasing the population. So I'm gonna, it's just it's pure madness. It's pure madness when you think about it, about the agendas that are going on. The plans to get legislation passed based off created crisis. So what seems to be just a spontaneous natural disaster or a man-made disaster, as in an accident, it wasn't pre-planned, to the sheep, to the people who are just turn on the TV every day. They're eating, they're drinking their diet soda and eating their gum with their aspartame and sucralose and all that good stuff, and getting their daily brainwashing from cable news and all that, and Lady Gaga on their iPod. Those people, they'll never see any of this stuff as being perpetrated, as being planned. And so for people out there that are aware of this stuff and know that the people who do control this planet have no problem with blowing up rigs and creating the biggest oil spill in history. Once you understand the mentality of these people that I'm talking about, the powers that be, then it's nothing. It's nothing to just kill off a bunch of wildlife, to make a bunch of people sick, to possibly cause birth defects and cause women and men to be sterile and unable to have a good pregnancy. But that's just, like I said, that's just an added bonus to what they really want. And what is it that they really want is, well, they want this cap and trade bill to be passed, and of course they tried it last year, and there's no dice. So I think it did get passed. It did get passed. That's right. It did get passed in the House, but it didn't pass the Senate. So they're coming back with it. Of course, our buddy Joe Lieberman, who they call an independent, and I call just a fascist sellout to humanity. But so they were coming out saying, I think it was even McCain too, but I'm not sure. It would be crazy if McCain was saying this, but whatever. Doesn't really matter because they're all liars, right? And but they're good liars. And they were basically trying to rename it and repackage the cap and trade bill to pollution reduction. So now they just like a marketing, like how they rolled out Obama to the American people, to the desperate cattle who are just looking for a miracle and looking for a savior. And then they already knew that they are the powers that be. These what do you call it? Social engineers. They already knew that the majority of the people at this point in time, around 2008, were going to be desperate as hell, right? And why would they know that? Well, because they caused, here we go, Goldman Sachs again. They helped cause the housing bubble, right? Just like the tech bubble. They were betting against things. They were making lots of money. It's a scam. It's scam after scam after scam. Whether it's the what is it, the savings and loan crisis, whether it was the Great Depression, whether it was our manufacturing industry, steel industry, and all that going overseas. This is all planned. It's economic warfare and it's social engineering. So when it comes to that time, to 2008, they know that the American people are going to be desperate for a savior. And so Obama was a good little corporate public relations download for the people. That's what he was, and they just rolled him out there, and like I said, like a little dolly, and they put him out in front and plugged him in, and eventually people are going to realize that he's just a holograph. He's just a nothing. He doesn't speak for himself, But yeah, I mean, this is the insanity that we live in. That people actually put all their power and they put all of their faith into this system. And I spoke with somebody in Oregon, and they were saying, "Oh, we need to change the system. We need to change the system," and he's right. And but the problem is that he was more of a statist, I guess you can call him, but he was kind of not a new ager, but he was I guess you can put, if you're going to put someone in a group, I guess if you want to label them something or something, he would be considered like not even, it's like mixture between liberal and Greenpeace, but I don't think he was either or really. But he's the type of person, I've talked to these types of people many times, and they don't like corporations. They're all for the environment. They don't like politics, and banks and bailouts and that, and they're against the war on drugs. And those are all things that I share with them. But then every single time, it's like you try to tell them, well, look, this is why this problem came to be. It's because of the state. It's because of the government. And it's because of what they did. And it's like they don't want to hear that. It's like a deer in the headlights. You tell them that. It's like, well, no, you did this happened because of the government installed this policy. And I don't know. It really is like a deer in the headlights. And so people just cling on to that, to having the government come in and help them all the time. And this is going to be the same thing with the BP disaster. Is that people with the problem, reaction, solution stage, obviously there is a problem. Either BP allowed it to happen. It's usually what happens. It's not just like what 9/11. They didn't just like purposely blow it up, or they didn't directly go at it and blow the place up. Well, maybe they did. Maybe there were explosives that they set off. But either way, it's usually the way this false flag terrorism tactic works. For any of those that don't know what it is, just look on YouTube, and you can learn a lot about false flag terrorism. It's basically 9/11. The Germans did it. Some people believe that Pearl Harbor was false flag. It's basically when the government allows themselves to be attacked, or it's the government attacking themselves, flying the flag of another country, another nation, or another whatever. Now it's terrorism. So that's what happens. They allow they allow things to get exploded. They allow people to get killed, right? And so with this rig,